Because we had some dancers come in, I'm rolling this puppy back because we never, ever, 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 ever gonna go into a Mindset Monday without allowing our tribe to get their Monday celebration on. So would you please welcome Miss Pamela Gill? Woo, woo. Hey, Mama. How are you?
I am fine.
Good, good. I love your sparkle shirt. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. And out and about, Monique. So funny. So you all, right where you are in your kitchen, in your living room, in your bed, even in your jammies, wherever you are, not in the car, unless you're just kind of listening and doing this. Hey, my babies.
Say hey.
Hey, babies. Hi. Hi, honey. That is hilarious. All right, so we're going to get our groove on, everybody. And I'm not going to roll the countdown all the way back, just a little bit. You got something to be grateful for. So whatever that thing is, think about it and get your shimmy And what are you grateful for today, Miss Pamela?
I'm grateful that I made the Planeton challenge for 50 rides yesterday.
Woo! That's awesome.
You think I didn't do it, but I did.
Love it. We celebrate with you. And what are you grateful for today, Miss Monique?
I am grateful for saying that I would not show up, and I did anyway.
We're grateful too. That was a surprise. That was a surprise. So thank you. That's funny. I think, that speaks to this thing of, sometimes when we're pursuing our goals or our dreams or just things that are good for us in the self-care realm, because this is good for you when you can kind of let yourself go free and be with people who support and love you. I think that that can represent a lot of things, and sometimes we have to tell ourselves, you know what, I got all these reasons not to do it. Didn't even make sense to do it. What am I even going to get out of it? But at the end of the day, it fills your tank, it fills your soul. I know you filled ours, so thank you, lovelies.
Thank you.
I'm so glad. All right, see y'all in the chats. I love our tribe. Have I told you that yet today? I don't think so, but I love our tribe. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Periscope. I'm going to get our tribe over here from Instagram on with us. Yes. Oh my goodness. Hello, Instagram. Welcome to Mindset Monday. We just danced into the open, and if you ever want to take part in that, you all just pop in and tell me that you want to join when you see us dancing. We are having a catch-up time. Y'all, I have to tell you, I'm going to take a seat, not just because I was bouncing around, but because I just want to take a minute because I wasn't with you last week. And I have to tell you that that thing kind of messed me up. I had some work obligations, and I had, this one missed you too. She's standing up like, I want to be. Nala missed you too. Say hello. But yeah, that thing had us shook. We were shook. We were totally shook. We missed y'all. We missed y'all. So I'm just going to take a minute and sit down and catch up and see how everybody is doing. Glorious, joyous Monday to you. Hello, Walt on IG. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hello, Savalas. Hello, Michael on Facebook. Hello, Dina D on Facebook. Yes, Michael was singing with us. I'll be your light. I love it. Vonda, good morning on Facebook. Miss Helen also on Facebook. Good to see you. Tamara on YouTube. Hey. Yes, Pam was dancing, wasn't? Yes, she was. Was Morning E-Tribe. Oh my goodness, Bob Hamp is in the house. You don't even understand. I'm going to be talking about his book real soon, y'all. It has been really blessing me. So thank you, Bob, and thank you for all the light-bearing work you do. Just phenom. Can't say enough good things about that guy. Hello, Akinya. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Daryl. I feel like Mrs. Rogers. Hey, Pamela. Thanks for dancing, Mama. That was awesome. I missed you all last week. Jennifer, Carlita. Hello, Lorraine. Hello, Fred. Hello, Marissa on IG. Today, we're talking about the imposter syndrome. So I hope you guys are ready. Thanks for waving, Fred. I hope you all are ready for some good comeback. We have... Wait to share, y'all, because, hey, Reverend Wingo on Periscope, good to see you. Hey, Tanya on Facebook, Angela. Bob, you are so welcome, and thank you for what you do. Oh, thank you. Love that spirit. Tell Miss Polly I said hello. We're talking about the imposter syndrome today. Squashing the imposter syndrome. You switched over to, okay, you all crack me up. Y'all will start on Periscope and jump over to IG, and I'm like, what's happening? That's fine. Wherever y'all need to be, that's where I want you to be. So this topic is kind of interesting, a little juicy, right? The imposter syndrome. I love that little dog. He's looking like, I don't know. Do people believe I'm a dog? I don't know. It can be a little... it can be a little daunting to talk about, only because it's such a kind of like the elephant in the room type topic. Most of us have experienced it multiple times in our lives, but it is kind of that elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about, and so we don't. And then that, though, leads other people to believe that they're the only ones experiencing it. So what are we talking about when we are using the term imposter syndrome? It's a psychological phenomenon that reflects the belief that you are inadequate and that you're incompetent and you're a failure, despite all evidence that indicates that you're skilled and quite successful, right? But it's a psychological phenomenon, right? That means that more than one person is going to experience that at some time or another. Hello, Annette. Good to see you. Kenny, thank you for welcoming me back. So, how many of you have ever been in that circumstance or situation? It could be for personal reasons in a personal space, or it could be, within a work situation or scenario where you felt like an imposter. Just say, that's me, or throw me up some emojis. A paper that was published in the International Journal of Behavioral Science said that more than 70 people in the United States have felt like a fake at least once. So there's a high probability that you're one of them. I know I have. Yes. Miss Vonda says, second marriage comes to mind. Got you. Thank you for your honesty. Jennifer says, me. Chris Higginbotham says, currently. Got you, Chris. Thanks for the honesty. IG, what up? Weigh in over here. Have you ever felt like a fake? or an imposter. Carlita says, that's me. Akinya says, me. Candace says, yep. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is at some point in our life, there's been a circumstance or situation you had to show up in, or you were already a part of, where you felt like, what? It's only a matter of time before people figure this out, right? Dr. Valerie Young, I've been doing some reading on her. She's an expert in the imposter syndrome category. She came up with these groups. Now, I'm not going to dig into the groups today. We'll do that on another time because I just want to talk about dealing with imposter syndrome today. But her categories were the perfectionist, the superwoman or superman, the natural genius, the soloist, and the expert. Do any of those ring as authentic to something you've experienced before, where you are either the perfectionist and oops, you can't make a mistake because 100% of the time you've got to be 100% right. The perfectionist. The Superman or Superwoman, nothing you can't do. In fact, other people have bought into it in such a way that everybody comes to you about that. That can add to the stress of your, experiencing the imposter syndrome because you've kind of created this persona, right? The natural genius, you have some things that you are naturally good at, right? But does that mean that there's not room for growth? Does that not mean that there's room for learning? Tamara says, yes, on IG. She says perfectionist is her brand of impostoring, right? How about the rest of you? Let's see what folks are saying over here. Anybody? The soloist, the natural genius, the expert. The soloist, you got to do it all by yourself. No one can do it with you. No one can do it but you. Anyone? Well, here's what's funny. I remember growing up, having some things happen. And my mother, whom I still think there's some wisdom in this, said, if you want to do something right, you got to do it yourself. And I still believe there's truth in that. But I don't know that we need to do it all ourselves all the time, right? And so Jennifer says she's been all of them at some point. Akenya says all of them. That's great. Thanks for the honesty. Chris says all of the above. Yes, the all of the above. Right. And so allowing ourselves, y'all, to become engulfed with this imposter mindset, it can take you into a flat spin. All of them, Lorraine says over here on IG. Yeah, it can take you to a place where you just spin out. It's too much pressure. It's too much. First of all, it's not based in fact. We'll get to that part too. But I want to take a look at this great chart I found over here on Tectello. Little graphic here. Let's look at the spin. Vonda says soloist. She learned it from her mom. Yeah, I think all of us did. Like that whole, if you want to get it done right, do it yourself. Carlita says Superwoman and soloist, I think from being a caregiver for over 18 years. Yeah, that's an interesting bent on that. I can see that. Thank you for sharing, Ms. Carlita. So let's take a look at this, the way it can have you spinning out, okay? Because that's what we want to avoid. So let's start with the left side, because the right side is where we want to aim, but the left side is where we normally go. It starts spinning into fear, right? They're going to figure out that I'm a fraud. What's up, Zare? Okay. You know who I'm talking to. I just waved at you. Hey, IG. It's, the imposter syndrome, that thing that you're inadequate, that thing that says that you are not worthy, that thing that says that they're going to figure out that you're not good enough, smart enough, and all of those other things. It sends you into fear, which then creates more stress. You're spiraling down into anxiety, insecurity, and conflict within yourself, and it manifests outwardly with others, right? So that's the downward spiral. What we want to do is we want to be real. We want to ask questions. It's okay to admit you don't know everything about everything. They're really secret. Nobody on the planet that's a human knows everything about everything, right? Stay in a place of inquisitiveness and curiosity so that you're always learning, and then that creates more self-awareness and more curiosity. That's the side we want to be on. We don't want to be spiraling down in fear, stress, and anxiety, right? And so I don't know if you want to take a screenshot of this, but I think this will help you when you get to those places where you start second guessing yourself and you start imagining that you don't deserve certain things in certain places and certain positions that you have, or certain relationships, or that somehow you feel like you're showing up as a fraud. Just because you don't know everything doesn't mean you don't bring value to the circumstance, situation, or relationship you're in. Yes, there's always room for growth. We can admit that. But it doesn't mean that you don't deserve it. In fact, from a spiritual perspective, oftentimes God will put you into situations, circumstances, and positions where you're not all the way ready. You are not adapted and equipped. That you have to have a level of faith, that you have to have a level of dependency on something greater than you, and in the faith path walk, right? What's up, Erica? Hello. So for those of you on IG, I will post this on my page a little bit later, but I'm showing them this spiral. Fear, when you think that you're an imposter, when you show up in a situation, imposter syndrome hits. Fear unravels into stress, unravels into anxiety, unravels into insecurity, and then into conflict within and without. But what we want to do is, when imposter syndrome hits, you want to keep it real, ask questions, commit yourself to learning, right? Because maybe you do need to learn more. Maybe you do need to be doing more. Well, learn about that. Don't beat yourself up. Just figure out what you need to do to shore yourself up. That comes through self-awareness and staying curious, all right? Let's go over here to the comments. And let's see, Carlita says, yep. How others perceive you. Yes. Anthony says, good morning. Have a blessed day. You too, sir. Rhonda says, yes, yes. So this is resonating. I'm glad. Those are the types of things that we want to focus on, because listen, you're not going to get any further in your goals and your purpose. You're not going to feel good about yourself. You're not going to develop fully by just unraveling and wiping out into fear, stress, anxiety, insecurity, and conflict, right? When we allow ourselves to get engulfed in that, it can overtake you, right? It can overtake you. And in fact, there's 7 ways that we can kind of experience this. Let's take a look. These are just a few, but sometimes, tell me if any of these step on your toes. It's the anxiety that comes with every new challenge, fearing that you have to do it all over again. I'm learning all over again. I've had a couple of clients that say that, one of the things that's hard for them to stay in a growth mindset is, I'm kind of an expert with what I have. And if I start over, if I'm learning something new, now, oh my gosh, I have to start from scratch and I don't know everything. And now I have to be vulnerable and I have to admit I don't know everything. But that's great. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. That's what we want, right? That's what we want. When we measure ourselves to others and their success as it looks to us, comparison kills. It's a great song, but it's also the truth. Comparison kills. Comparison kills. And we get a lot of that on social media, right? Because we're looking through the timeline and like, oh my gosh, their family went on a fabulous, excursion, vacation. I'm a bad mother, I'm a bad dad. Or, oh, look, he or she's doing this. I should be so much further along. Zaire says, I agree. Yes, yes, right? That's what the imposter syndrome does to you. You could experience it as fear of evaluations at work. Many of us have to have, either annual evaluations or those types of things. That imposter syndrome can creep up when you have to do that kind of stuff. What's up, Jeff? I see you on IG. Number 4, we feel undeserving of our status at work. Maybe you got a promotion. Maybe there's something that you've been asked to manage or to lead or take charge of. That's when that imposter syndrome can show up then. Like, who are you to be doing this, right? If you know somebody or you know somebodies that could be blessed by this, that could get some insight, some enlightenment by this, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. 5, receive appreciation with cynicism. How many of you all do that? How many of you all do that? Somebody says, oh, great job on the da-da-da. And your natural filter says they don't really mean that. They're judging me. She's just trying to be nice. He's just saying that. How many of you have ever experienced that? 6, question of our choice of line of work. You're doing a job, maybe you're still learning, you're still growing in it, but now you're questioning your whole, Pam says absolutely, questioning your whole path because that imposter syndrome thing shows up. And now you're not sure. Now you're questioning yourself. Now you're doubting yourself. Now you're not sure anymore. And number 7, we feel like we don't know what we're doing or why we're doing what we're doing, right? And that can just be a need to go back to your big fat why, as I call it, and remember what was your first intent? Why are you there in the first place? Remember the source of it all. Remember and ground yourself to why you're doing the work that you're doing. Listen, there's rarely anything that we're called to do it because we're perfect. We're called to do it because there's something that's gifted in you for that circumstance. Erica on IG says, yeah, when you get a compliment, just say thank you and keep it moving. Absolutely. Women can be the worst. You said, oh, I like that job. Oh, this, I got it like for 50 cents. And, it just, thank you. Thank you. That's all. You don't have to disqualify it. Jennifer says she experiences number 6 and number 7, questioning a choice of line of work and feeling like we don't know what we're doing. That is pretty prevalent amongst high achievers, especially. When you're a high achiever and you're used to, getting her done and you're the go-to gal or guy, those types of things. A lot of times we can put that pressure on ourselves. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't, what if I get to the end of my knowledge rainbow and they ask for more, right? All of those types of things can kick in. So let's talk about some ways that we can maybe counteract these things. Now that we know what we're dealing with, let's see how we can move into a space where we deal with it on a healthier level, right? So first thing we want to do, and I love this, is acknowledge the feeling. I'm going to tell you this no matter what we're dealing with. Acknowledge the feeling. About compliments, Vonda says, don't pick the compliment apart. Accept it and keep it moving. Yeah, everybody's got that revelation. I hope you all will do that this week when you are told how special you are and how great of a job you're doing or how much you're loved and appreciated. Accept it and keep it moving. Acknowledge the feeling. We're going to do that no matter what. Acknowledge the feeling because it's completely normal to feel whatever you're feeling. But in this case, to feel like you're not the right person for the job, the project, or the relationship. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody has that feeling, even those at the top of their field. Maya Angelou said once, I have written 11 books, but each time I think, they're going to find out now. I've run a game on everybody and they're going to find me out. Now listen, if the gifted, the talented, rest in peace in heaven, Maya Angelou can think that about her work. One of the greatest literary gifts that I know, then we can all succumb to imposter syndrome, right? So first, acknowledging it. Because when you pretend like it's not there, then you can't deal with it. And you all know that. That's what we do, right? Yes, yes? Okay. Number 2, then we're going to dig into examining our motives. Are you working for attention? Are you trying to get genuine impact in a situation? Thanks for sharing, Erica. Know your big fat why. This goes back to what I was telling you. Like, so often we chastise ourselves, we start running the game of guilt, shame, all because, yeah, I still have some learning to do. But does that make you a complete fraud? No. Listen, even doctors at the top of their field, they still have to go get extra training, do things to stay on the cutting edge of medicine, not because they're imposters, but because there's always more to learn, there's always more to do, now listen, let me counter this with, if you have been a fraud in this sense, if you didn't rightly and authentically show up and share yourself, you got some work to do. You got some work to do. If you oversold yourself, right? If you oversold yourself and you weren't on the up and up from the beginning, okay, then you're going to have some work to do. But for those of us, you did the interview, you showed up, you showed them exactly who you were, and you still got chosen, then guess what? Stand, stick, and stay. Stand, stick, and stay. Go learn more. Go read more. Go to YouTube University. Get some e-courses under your belt. There are a bazillion e-courses out there about your particular area of need, right? Your niche. Go get after it. Go get after it. All right? Number 3, see yourself as a student. This is the most important step. When you're creating or leading, acknowledge that you don't know everything and that you're here to learn. And let me tell you something. In terms of leadership material and things that I've read, the greats from John Maxwell to Stephen Covey to tons of folks have said, people will respect you more when you just admit, oh, okay, that's new. I know it feels vulnerable. You don't want to admit what you don't know, right? And if there's certain things that you should know, some basics that you should know in your field, yes, you definitely need to know those. But in terms of constantly growing and, okay, that's a new insight, there's no shame in that. And people actually respect bosses and leaders who are able to say, okay, yeah, I got you. Thanks for sharing. Give me something to think about. All right? If you take on this type of mindset, which is a growth mindset, imposter syndrome can't survive in your head because it has nothing to grab onto and take root. You're not trying to fake a persona or maintain a certain image. Instead, you're motivated by your curiosity and your desire to learn. When you quit pretending like you know it all, you can lay down that heavy weight of having to know it all. Erica on IG says you can never learn enough. Absolutely. Listen, you either are learning, growing, or dying. Learning, growing, or dying. So, I mean, you don't want to stop. Right? Makes sense. When you don't pretend to be something you're not, you don't have to worry about that. Right? Now, I'm very interested to know where this is hitting you all, and let's talk. And if somebody would like to come on IG, Facebook, YouTube, I'm going to give you this link. You can pop in. We can do some live chat about your circumstance or situation. What's up? Okay, you should be seeing a link go out. I'm trying to see how I can copy it over here. I don't know that I can copy it, but IG, you can go live with me by just requesting to go live. Right? Michael's striving for me. Yep, we're either learning, growing, or we die. Dr. Jennifer says, yes, I am a lifelong learner. You've got to be. You have got to be, right? Or else you're going to end up in that spiral cone of death, and nobody wants to be there. Do we? I don't think so. None of us wants to be in that spiral cone of death. Nigel weighs in and says, I came in too late to understand the topic. Well, sir, that's what replays are for. We're talking about the imposter syndrome. When you show up in a circumstance or a situation and your mind, psychologically, you start telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, that somehow you are tricking people. That's what we're talking about today, imposter syndrome. So anybody want to discuss anything? While you all are doing that, I'm going to pop over here, thinking about that, I'm going to pop over here to the Empowerment Tribe page. If those of you who are watching aren't a member of our Empowerment Tribe, it's a Facebook group. There's the address. It's facebook.com/groups/Empowerment Tribe. This is where we come and we take our discussions offline. And it's where I just created a space where we can all share. I love learning from other people's experiences and circumstances. And people come and post things like this. Tamara posted a recipe for Self-Care Sunday. I love it. I love that. Journaling, exercise, facial mask, vacation. Love, see, everybody shares. We celebrate everybody's highs. Small wins count too. We encourage each other through the valleys. I love this quote. I'm attracting everything that's for my highest good. New opportunities, new energy, new mindset, new connections. Thanks for that share, Tamara. So you see, we come over here and we support each other. And I love what's happening on the Empowerment Tribe page. So if you're not a member, definitely join over there. And I also post things that I'm into, like books and different resources and things that I might discuss within the shows, as well as just kind of offline. So yeah, we'd love to have you as a member of the Empowerment Tribe. And Empowerment Tribe members, you can always invite others to the tribe, okay? It is a closed group, but if you invite them, of course we'll allow them in. Of course. While we're talking about it, if you have not signed up for text messaging, make sure you text the word release to 22999. Release to 22999. That's how you get all the 411 on different things that we're doing, like pop-ups, Zooms, cool little things like that. So release to 22999. Love it. Anybody? Nobody? No insights? Now, let me ask you this. For those of you who said that you identify as either the perfectionist or the soloist, the natural genius, the expert, the Superman or the Superwoman, has any of this helped you in terms of dealing with that? Because psychologists say that this whole imposter syndrome is rarely a sign that you're going down the wrong path, even though I know sometimes on one of those categories, we talked about how you can feel like, oh, now I've got to rethink my whole work choice, and they're going to know I don't know enough, only because you just have more learning and growing to do. That's not a definitive sign that you're going down the wrong path. They say most of the time it's a defense mechanism against failure and disappointment. So to not experience failure or disappointing others or ourselves, we'll tell each other, oh, I'm a fraud, I'm a fake, I need to get out of this. But don't run. Stick, stay, and stand. Just stay in it. Do the work. You're there for a reason. Don't try to convince yourself that your work isn't important. Don't start avoiding doing what it is you need to do to stay at the top of your game. Because when you do that, then you do falter and you never start or you never grow. And then when you never start or never grow, you won't succeed. So then it becomes this weird self-fulfilling prophecy. So just stick, stand, and stay. Know that you're where you're supposed to be. Learn, grow, open yourself up to staying curious. Constantly asking questions, learning. Lay your ego down, right? And admit you're not Superman, Superwoman. You're not going to be perfect, right? And when you lay those things down and embrace humanity embrace yourself, flaws and all, it makes it much easier for you to carry weights, right? Then they're little weights like, oh, I got some growing to do. Oh, I need to learn more about that. Oh, I didn't know that. Versus, oh my God, I was supposed to know that, right? So to overcome it, we have to think about ourselves in a different way. And I hope those 3 steps, hey, Monique, I see you popping in over here on IG. I hope those 3 steps helped you at least prick the surface, just, skim the surface on some ways that you can go back and think your way out of it so you don't get caught up in this spiral. Quickly, just acknowledging that feeling. It's perfectly okay. 2, examine your motives. Tell yourself what's true or not. Are you working for the attention? Or are you working for the work? Do you really know what you're doing? Or is there just a few things you need to learn more about? Are you tanking your whole career because there's one little thing you need to figure out, or one mistake you made because you didn't know something, or go back to your why. Your why is your passion that keeps you right in the space and lane where you need to be. And 3, devote yourself to being a curious student. Curiosity. I did a whole little thing. I might post that in the Empowerment Tribe, a funny little video about curiosity. Curiosity is what helps us continue to learn. Remember when you were little, you were curious about everything. My boys say, hi, TT Net. Thank you, Monique. Hey, Keith on IG, thanks for popping in. All right. So I hope these 3 things have helped give you some insight onto why don't be shook because you think you're an imposter. You're not an imposter. You're not. Stand, stick and stay. Really analyze it against what the truth is. If you showed up authentically, if you were being who you were in the beginning, then you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And listen, if you did show up authentically, if you did oversell yourself, the choices you have now are to learn more so that you can bring more value, and just show up every day trying to bring more value. And it may work for your good, right? I mean, you never want to show up misrepresenting yourself, but if you got there, maybe the grace of God will cover you to stay there. But if the only thing that we all can do now is embrace ourselves, our true selves, our authentic selves, and show up every day trying to learn as much as we can, do the best that we can, and bring value to others, serving others with what it is you were called to do, you feel you were called to do. All right? This is so many spin-off conversations that we can have from here, but I'm going to let it rest right here. Jennifer says, yes, thanks. It helped. Anthony says, yes, amen. Thank you, Anthony, for chiming in. All right. All right. Guess what, y'all? We have more ahead. So Wednesdays, that we come back and we do because we like to feed mind, body, and spirit. So Wednesday we'll be back to do that on a devotional tip. If you're new, please drop a line and let me know where you're watching from. Even you replay viewers, I would love, love, love to know, if you're new to me, where you're watching from. It's amazing where people chime in from all over the world. I love it. I love it. I love it. If you'd like to be a part of group coaching, go to JeanetteSmith.com. We've got a great men's group and a great women's group. We meet bi-weekly, and we really do dig deeper into these topics to help you get results and push past stuck. That's the thing. You want to push past stuck. JeanetteSmith.com is where you go for that. All right. I'm so glad to be back. I missed you all last week. Mwah. Thanks for being so understanding when work and duty call. Michael says, have a great week. You have a great week too. Thank you so much. Facebook user says, awesome. I'm so glad. Awesome. Pamela Williams says it helped. I'm glad. I will see you all in the Empowerment Tribe group. The rest of you all, love you to life on IG. Love you to life over here on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. Thanks so much for doing what you all do. Yeah, you missed me too. I hope so. Facebook user says lots of doctoral students suffer from this as they begin their coursework. I can only imagine. Every time you get ready to level up, that little demon, that little dude starts whispering in your ear about how much of an imposter you are. That's a great share. Thanks for that. Anthony says, great job today. You're coming in from Allen, Texas. Okay, Allen, Texas. DeSoto's in the house. Oh, my Texas people. I miss my Texas people. I used to live in Dallas. Have a wonderful week, Pamela. Thanks for dancing today. Have a great day. I will. You all too. I love you all to life. Nothing you can do about it. Now this.
Thanks so much for joining me on this journey to help empower your mind, your body, and your spirit. I hope you've enjoyed our time together as much as I have. Make sure you stay connected. Become part of the tribe, the inner circle. Text the word release to 22999 and get all the updates on events and happenings and pop-ups that I do. Let's grow this community. Bring more hearts and minds into the room. Share the streams. Join our tribe, our Facebook group, and support through products and services that'll help you continue to make better decisions for better living. Like this resource, From Dream to Reality, Navigating the Path to Your Life Purpose. This top-selling action journal has helped thousands of people find and follow their purpose. You can get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The link is in the post. The Empowerment Tribe is about empowering one another. So follow me on social media so I can follow you back and see what you're up to. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope. Thanks again for tuning in. We are the Empowerment Tribe. Together, we are light bearers in the world. Love you to life. See you next time.